A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now observe a 30-second moment of silence. Thank you. Moving to A3, adoption of the agenda. Board members, are there any consent agenda items that you would like to have discussed as an action item? Is there no fan? No. Hearing none, do I have a motion to adopt the meeting agenda?
I move that we adopt the meeting agenda items.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Moving, my apologies, governing board members. We did, consent agenda was at D, but we did pass it, correct? Oh, okay. My apologies. Okay, moving to B, information items. B1, research study from the University of Arizona. B2, research study from Arizona State University. C, public comment. We have no public comment today. D, consent agenda. D1, approval of consent agenda items. I call for a motion that the governing board approve consent agenda items D1 through D12.
I move that we approve consent agenda items D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, D9, D10, D11, and D12.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving to E, business services. E1, FY 2022 annual financial report and override/bond update. Board members, as acquired by Arizona revised statutes, this will need to be a roll call vote, and we will have that marked in the minutes. So the administration recommends that the governing board approve the Alhambra School District's annual financial report for 2021-2022. The annual financial report, AFR, must be approved by a roll call vote of the governing board. The summary of the annual financial report must be electronically published by November 15th, 2022. Submission of the AFR to the Arizona Department of Education is an electronic format. Will satisfy the requirement to electronically publish the AFR, as it will be available on the ADE website. I call for a motion that the governing board adopt the Alhambra School District's annual financial report for 2021-2022.
I move that the governing board approve the Alhambra School District annual financial report for the 2021-2022 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
I second.
Oh. Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. We will now call for a roll call vote. We'll do a vote first. Okay, so this is our roll call vote. Please vote a yay, nay, or abstain. Mr. Oropesa?
Yay.
Mr. Solorio?
Aye.
Ms. O'Neill-France?
Aye.
Mr. Conchas? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
I didn't know we were supposed to vote like a pirate.
All right, moving to E2, Verizon Innovation Lab Program, ASU Verizon Subaward And this is strictly informational, but this is great that the fixed amount subaward of $30,000 will be applied as outlined in a previously approved MOU from April 7th, 2022. And those sites support Alhambra Traditional School and the Global Academy of Phoenix. Thank you. Moving to F, Human Services. F1, position changes, data clerks and secretaries. The administration recommends that the data clerk and secretary's work schedules change as submitted. The administration recommends changing the data clerks and secretary's work schedules from 10 to 10.5 month to 12-month positions. The change to their work schedules will ensure our school offices remain open during the summer to capture student enrollments and prepare for the upcoming school year. Over the past few years, AESD has created an additional process to allow office staff to remain open. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the data clerk and site secretary's work schedules as submitted.
I move that the governing board accept the data clerk and secretary's work schedule change as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Discussion?
I do think, and additionally, if you look through this, there is a lot of, I think maybe somewhat antiquated responsibilities, and so I think an updated in general is appropriate, and I'd hope also they'd appreciate the expansion of a full year of employment, and so I think it's very good.
Ms. Oropesa?
I just want to say hallelujah. I agree, Mr. Oropesa. I think it's really important that we have our, I know they were open, but have our staff there to greet our families and incoming new students. So if we approve this, I'm excited.
Thank you. Any other comments? What I'd like to say is I really appreciate the superintendent and the team, especially Scott over there in the audience, for ensuring that we have the funds to do this. One of the things that I like to talk about or brag about is this summer in July, we had 1,000 more kids enrolled in our school district than we did the previous year. And I think it's because we had our offices open. We had our secretaries and our data clerks doing phone calls to families and doing the important work to ensure that our families feel connected to our school district even when they're on summer break. So thank you. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to G, board policies. G1, temporary suspension of board policy BGB policy adoption. I call for a motion that the governing board approve suspending policy BGB regarding the first and second readings for policy adoption. Someone?
I move that we approve suspending policy BGB regarding first and second readings for policy adoption.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Discussion?
This is something that we've done previously this year, correct? And so this isn't like new precedent. We've done this before. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Oropesa, and my understanding from our board secretary and from the superintendent is this has come up so that the policies that we discuss after this, we can be compliant with the state law.
Right.
Any other discussion?
And I'm sorry. So the ones after this, we're voting on them, but it was because it was passed by the government. That's why so we have to be compliant with these preceding all of them. Is that correct? Or is there is my understanding is not all of them. It's only the first two, or is it all of them?
It would be for G2 and G3 and G4.
Oh, it is all three. Okay.
And G5 is informational.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I get nervous when Dana's not here. Excuse me. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Going to G2, first reading and adoption of policy GCD. The administration recommends that the governing board approve the revised policy GCD, professional staff vacations and holidays. The administration recommends updating the verbiage in the policy to reflect the change through the end of the winter break. I call for a motion that the governing board approve and adopt the revision to policy GCD, professional staff vacations and holiday.
I move that we approve the revised policy GCD, professional staff vacations and holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Any discussion?
Just to explain this, instead of the end of the fiscal year, vacation goes through the end of winter break, which I think makes sense.
That is correct. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving to G3, first reading and adoption of policy JLCB. The administration recommends that the governing board approve revisions to policy JLCB, immunization of students. Policy JLCB was updated in August 2022 to include the Arizona law that precluded COVID-19 COVID-19 from the list of required immunizations. In September 2022, a school district notified ASBA of inconsistencies between policy JLCB and regulation JLCB-R. This prompted ASBA staff to conduct a full overhaul of JLCB and JLCB-R. Policy now refers readers directly to regulation where the previous policy listed out each required immunization. The regulation now reflects directly what is required by the Department of Health Services. JLCB-E was updated correctly in August of 2022. So I call for a motion that the governing board approve and adopt revisions to policy JLCB, immunization of students.
I move that we approve and adopt revisions to policy JLCB, immunizations of students.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill-France. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving to G4, first reading and adoption of policy IMD. The administration recommends that the governing board approve revisions to policy IMD, school ceremonies and observances. School districts and charter schools must set aside 1 to 2 minutes at the beginning of each day for silence. Teachers may not tell the children what to meditate on. Teachers must encourage parents to discuss with their children how to use that moment of silence. I call for a motion that the governing board approve and adopt revisions to policy IMD, school ceremonies and observances.
I move that we adopt revisions to policy IMD, school ceremonies and observances.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill-France. Any discussion?
It was previously up to 1 minute. And so now this is expanding it a bit from 1 minute to 2 minutes. So it's, I know as a parent, I'm always nervous about what happens in the classroom. So this isn't a unique policy. They've always had a moment of silence, but now it's just expanded. So for all the parents out there.
Thank you, Ms. Oropesa. Any other discussion? Just one thing is children make silent minutes. Sounds difficult.
Well, if it was limited to 1, now it's from 1 to 2. So any classrooms that did 1 minute, there's no practical change. So kindergartens for 1 minute, they can
Thank you.
do your best.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. G5, policy and regulation revisions. This is strictly information only. The amendment to policy JL-R, student wellness regulation, are recommended by ADE in Maricopa County to put AESD into compliance with the local wellness policy regulations. The amendment to policy KDB-R, public's right to know / freedom of information regulation, is the result of a law passed by the 55th legislature, second regular session, which convened in January of 2022. HB 2578 requires an entity subject to a public records request to provide the name, telephone, and email address of an employee or department that is authorized and able to assist the requesting party. Note to board members and administrators, linking this regulation through Policy Bridge to satisfy the statute's requirement of posting the contact on your website. And that's strictly informational. Moving to H, comments and communication. H1, comments from governing board members.
Happy fall break, almost. And please make sure you let your staff know there's like, hardly anybody in here, but you all will share the wealth, to tell them to take time to rest up and enjoy their family and friends, and just set that work aside for a little bit.
Miss O'Neill, France, I think the world is watching, so.
You think?
Any other comments, Mr. Spillane? So my first comment, going to taking vacation and taking rest, as Ms. O'Neill Francis. Dr. Myers, I hope that you get some rest, and I hope that you take some vacation. Thank you. Okay, so my comments for today are very short. First off, get your flu shot. I got mine. I'm actually starting to feel it. And then I celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month with third graders at Gap this week. And to be frank, it was the most nerve-wracking thing ever possible. I've spoken to, the whole AESD staff, and the third graders were more intimidating than that whole group. And so my assignment was to bring an artifact from my culture and have a story. And so what I did is I linked 3 values of my culture, which are family, culture, and education. I brought my U of A flag, and I brought my diploma, and I brought my cap, which is decorated with Si Se Puede. And I let the kids know that when they get to college and when they graduate, they can decorate their own cap. And one of the kids was like, yes, I'm going to go to college because I want to decorate my own cap.
There you go.
So we got one of them. But then it was Q&A, and I had to ask Principal Landry to do the Q&A because everyone wanted to ask a question at the same time. So classroom management, thank you so much, teachers, for what you do. And so they had a variety of different questions. They asked me, what's my favorite food? They asked me, do I have any siblings? Do I have any children? They asked me a lot of different questions, but they're just very curious people. But one of the things that I want to share with my fellow board members is afterwards, there were 2 classes, and one class was leaving, but a gentleman, a third grader named Angel, he came up to me and he said, he shook my hand, and he said, "Thank you, sir, for taking care of us and for keeping us safe." And I just want to let you all know that really tugged at my heartstrings, and I was like, wow, kids really, really do feel some type of way. So it was really, really energizing, and it was a really great time. Some other comments that I have is that I was excited to see the progress at ATS, the parking lot, the cement being laid out, and all the grass in the field is now dirt. So hopefully everything goes smoothly there, and also the Valencia gym. It's really good to see that structure go up. And I had one comment is I had, maybe this is for the next piece, but some 8th graders at Gap stopped me and asked me why there is not a boys soccer team. So that's their advocacy, that's their question that they wanted me to ask the superintendent. So if we could get them a response, that'd be great. And then thank you to those who have reached out to me personally to discuss our policies and procedures. I love hearing from folks in our district. If you do contact any board members, please, if you do feel comfortable, to CC Dana, our board secretary, just so that she's able to, if I miss it, I know that Dana will remind me to get to it. So that's very important. All right. Moving to H2, governing board direction and/or agenda item requests.
I would like for the board members, if we could get I don't want a schedule of everyday activities, but if we could get a report for each school on the special areas that are offered during the day. I'm hoping every site is doing music, band, art, and PE, at least, because these are the years that they learn those foundational skills, and that way they can feel success when they go to high school. I always it always bothers me even with sports when we have, what do you call those? You don't make it, you're cut from the team. It just bothers me in grade school because it's like, how do you cut a grade school kid from a team? It's like, come on, where do they learn? So I know we have our after-school sports. I just want to make sure that we are taking care of our students because there is a reason it says educating the whole child. And I want to make sure we're fulfilling what we say we're doing. Thank you.
I was cut from the basketball team in Catalina Ventura. Mr. Bashir, if you're watching, you cut me from the basketball team. I was only 5 feet tall at the time, but still. So I back you, Kathleen.
And I was promoted to water boy after I came last in track and field. So. Any other direction or agenda item requests? One of the things I wanted to follow up on is we are still discussing. Mr. Solorio suggested we talk about prison labor and how that affects the operations that we have here in our district. So we're still in discussion about that. Another thing that Mr. Solorio had requested is an update on our cybersecurity and our IT, and just kind of giving a broad overview of how we're keeping our data protected and our internet protected. And that's it. All right, moving to H3, comments from the superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. Ms. Bilyeu, will you go ahead and begin? And if you want to address the last two items President Conchas mentioned as well, or not the last two, I'm sorry, specific to the cyber security. Thank you. Since
Yeah.
I know it was in the.
Yes, so we did have the cybersecurity blurb from Mr. Montoya in the board member bulletin. I can pull that up if you like.
Yeah.
So will you pull that up for me? Beyond that, I do have a couple of comments, and then I'll finish up with the cybersecurity information from Mr. Montoya. So as a result of our commitment to engaging, empowering our families and communities through equitable opportunities, we have revamped our calendar expectations across the district. So when you talked about extracurricular or the special area, I was hoping you were like, I got the solution for you, but you can check the calendar to know where and when there is a game or an outside activity that our schools and sites are bringing people in. So the site community calendars are getting very, very full with activities, and each community calendar does feed the website so that you can see exactly what is doing from a site level, but you can also see it on the Alhambra Community Events and Meetings calendar has all of them. So the district community calendar is linked at the bottom and does feed our website, so both should match. And in an upcoming parent volunteer coordinator meeting, we will be training our parent volunteer coordinators to help our parents as they access those things. This team has made really good progress towards the systems and resources goal of creating a digital tool. I will not forget Mr. Oropesa when he said good luck on that goal, because we worked really hard on that one. And so we do have the admin procedural guide, which, while designed for our administrators, is accessible to all of our employees through the internal website. So once you log in, you can access the admin procedural guide, and it is live and audited and updated very regularly. So this tool includes all of the helpful links like our procedural guides, our directories, pictorial directories of our district team. It's organized by department, but you can also research it by topic. So this tool was introduced in our July admin team meeting and to principals, OCs, and secretaries, and plans to communicate it to a wider audience is in the works. We also have an exciting partnership with the Valley of the Sun United Way due to generosity of our Best Buy business. This group will be providing teacher supply kits to every new teacher, and through the collaboration of our warehouse and the professional learning team, we'll be picking those up over fall break, because not everybody is off, but some people are. And so they'll be distributing them in the near future. So, President Conchas, members of the board, related to technology and cybersecurity, we did have an update that shared because of heightened alerts and ransomware attacks on our school districts are experiencing. The Alhambra technology team is meeting with local vendors and security teams such as Converge One, Sophos, and Cisco Security to invest the latest solutions in cybersecurity. They will be requesting or making a request for qualification to determine which cybersecurity solution meets the needs of the district moving forward, and the technology team hopes to implement a solution that supports Alhambra before, during, and after a cybersecurity attack. They also deploy asynchronous phishing training to all district staff. After this training, the technology department also deploys additional, so like if you fail the test, they send you support. So in partnership with the Trust Technology team has implemented two-factor authentication for any district employee. We have investigated all of the items that are being shared free of cost by the State Department. The team is investigating those items to determine if the free is really going to meet our needs, because free is always good. If not, we will be investing because cybersecurity is of utmost importance. So hopefully that helps, but I can elaborate on anything. Well, not in this moment, but I can. Ruben's right there. We can elaborate further if that didn't meet your needs.
Thank you, Mandy. And I'll just add that with the cybersecurity, I know the conversations that we've had, and I appreciate Mr. Montoya and all the work that he's doing. Just to, in the follow-up, I think is what's most critical, is because people don't even realize, that, or just the way the messages are written, and I mean, people don't realize they're being tricked. And so I know even in my own personal life, I've had friends who've found themselves in really bad situations, and that's the conversations that we've had, is they send these tests out, but then it's really important to see who failed it. And like Mandy was saying, it's about support. So then it's following up to help people see no one's in trouble. It's let's understand why you didn't realize that was something that could have been very dangerous. And so to our district. And so like I said, I know that Mr. Montoya takes this very seriously. And so we appreciate the hard work in the tech department. Keep us safe. Ms. Gonzalez, do you want to share your updates?
I would love to. Good evening, Governing Board President Conchas, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Dr. Mayes. So the competition is on, as we talked about earlier. Boys and girls soccer and volleyball games happened this week. Despite the crazy weather on Monday, we had to cancel those games, but the other games have gone on. And it's really cute. Miss Stengel, the director of our programs, texted me how one boy said, "Who decided for us to play on this day? It's raining and it's great. It's good luck." So they're having a blast out there. But to mention the impact that this has on our kids, at Sevilla West, there are over 140 students, which is about 20% of their students participating in extracurricular stuff. So that includes, of course, the sports, but it also includes junior ROTC, student council, MESA. And at Granada West, they have a unique club. The PE coach, Misty Ortega, she has brought the junior coach program onto campus for students, and that's where they can teach leadership, self-esteem building, responsibility. They teach how to make positive relationships, and they're doing this through fun activities and problem solving through those activities. So our teachers are being very creative in how they're wrapping around our children and giving them so much great exposure outside the box of a typical academic school day. In alignment with this leadership idea of Granada West, at Sevilla West, they had a hygiene drive. So they have a leadership class of 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Last year, these students launched a survey to their fellow peers and asked them, what are things that you wish our campus had that you would need, these different kinds of hygiene products? So the kids filled out the survey, and then the staff and other students donated tons of shampoo and deodorant and toothbrushes and lotion and just lots of other items that the students asked that they could have for themselves, so they felt proud and comfortable while on campus. So just some outstanding stuff going on in our schools. And then I want to celebrate the All In Education program that our parents, many of our parents have the opportunity to be involved in. This is, and thanks to collaboration of the work of Jose Paredes from our Unique Populations Department and the All In Education organization. So we have 2 schools, Westwood and Sevilla East, and they are working with our parent volunteer coordinators and inviting parents from the community to join this leadership empowerment program. It's an actual parent educator academy. And it's a series of workshops that will take our parents through to learn to navigate the school systems, empower their voice, give them the tools to engage in powerful conversations with educators and with school staff, to develop relationships with schools and be seen as partners in their children's educational journey, and identify and create opportunities for authentic engagement, participation, and leadership within the school and within the school district. A shout out to Ms. Flor Gonzalez, the parent volunteer coordinator from Westwood, and Ms. Jessica Guzman, the parent volunteer coordinator from Sevilla East. They've been very impactful in promoting this on their campuses. They're going to select the parents through this program, and the workshops begin October 17th, and they go through December 7th. So this is just a great opportunity for our parents, and I'm really excited for them. Thank you. Those are my updates.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. And just hearing those updates, you can hear everyone's working really hard. And I know that I am constantly humbled as I visit campuses and speak to teachers, classified, our administrators, just everybody is working really hard. I too had the pleasure of presenting to some GAP students today, actually, and it was a lot of fun. I was letting Claire and Melissa know that it was so cute because one of the kids said, why are you so nervous? You're talking so fast. And I said, no, I'm not nervous. I'm just used to talking so fast because I'm always in a hurry, trying to get so much done. But I thought it was so cute that he pointed that out. So then I took a deep breath and slowed down. But our kids are wonderful, and it's such a privilege to serve them. And I just want to thank all those that are participating in the enrichment opportunities. Like Melissa, like you shared, there's so many wonderful things going on for our kids, and I just appreciate all the support that goes into making those things happen. I know even I've had multiple conversations with our leaders as teachers are really excited to add clubs to the campuses, and not only again, passionate about the club specifically that they want to offer. And they're offering not only to that particular school, but they're asking, how can I also provide that experience to other kids at other schools? And just, we have some very passionate teachers and staff out in our schools. And so I'm very grateful. I had the pleasure of participating in a listening tour this past week. I was listening to our music, art, and PE teachers, and that was very meaningful for us. And I'm sure we'll get that list to you soon regarding the special areas available on our campuses. But I will share that that staffing in itself, when you hear about the struggles in schools these days, it's very real, and it's real in Alhambra as well. And so I know one particular school did mention their concern that we don't have music at that particular campus, and the position's been posted. It's just finding a quality music teacher has been a challenge. And I know that I was speaking to a community member the other day asking about, just teacher retention and what we're doing in our district. And I shared how I was a part of a presentation, or it was at a conference not too long ago, and they were sharing that nearly half of the first year teachers in our Arizona schools today are not certified in the traditional route. And so So when you think of all the thousands of first-year teachers out there and what that means to the profession, it has a tremendous impact. And so as I engage with our leaders in discussing how we will just really ensure we're recruiting and most of all retaining our teachers, retaining the best teachers for our kids, it's very important work. And so, so again, the listening tour was very insightful, and I appreciate our leaders continuing to work with me as we continuously improve all that we do. So again, thank you to everyone for all your hard work. I hope everyone enjoys the fall break ahead, and hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Mayes. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege to announce and congratulate Mr. Manuel Oropesa. Recently, he has submitted the acquired number of signatures for the 2-year term for this governing board, and has been informed officially that the county superintendent of schools has appointed him for 2 more years, and so he'll be with us until December 31st of 2024.
One down, 2 to go.
Thank you. We'll move to I1. Next governing board meeting will be on October 27th. I'm going to challenge our governing board members to dress up in a Halloween costume. So get ready. And we'll let Ms. De Ocampo know. I2, calendar of events, sports field groundbreaking, James W. Rice, tomorrow morning, October 7th at 9 a.m. Thank you to Community Relations for getting all of that together for us. And to everybody, especially Mr. Shields out there, for ensuring that we get the project going. Ms. Bilio as well. Fall break is October 10th through the 14th. October 20th is Granada's following community event from 2:30 to 4:30. October 27th through 28th are parent-teacher conferences. November 8th is the general election. November 11th is the Veterans Day holiday. November 23rd through the 25th is our Thanksgiving holiday. I3, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.